I'm good. I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. We're recording in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this episode of All in the Delivery, episode number 33. And guys, real quick, this episode is brought to you by you guys. That's right, our Patreon subscribers. With our patrons in our corner, we can reach our goals and continue delivering greatness. We would like to thank Tony, Fernando, Andrew, Nate, Max, Clement, Sam, and Ryan for your continued support. And guys, listen, if you want to see what all the buzz is about, go to patreon.com/AITD pod. That's Patreon, patreon.com/AITD pod to sign up today. Now that that's out of the way, let's have some fun here, guys. Let me introduce to you my co-host. Where? Yeah, that's right. You guys know. Down in West Bargold, Virginia. Luke.
Fuck.
How are you, buddy?
Well, that probably and they'll hear this one because as we record this, my vacation is at the end of its road. And so I won't be sore. I mean, Dave was off for 6 weeks. I've only been off for 1. It puts things in perspective now, but it's been nice. I had nothing planned. It was always one that I've been kind of it's varied over the years. I used to take it because of St. Patrick's Day and basketball. Now it's more for basketball than going out, especially, right now. But yeah, man, it's been everything's good. I'm sure this week was smooth and I didn't get dicked over too bad. So
I really thought you were going to say I take it off now because I'm getting old. That's what I thought you were going to go.
Not yet. Not yet.
I mean, I would have said that, but that's because it would have been funny because I really thought you were going to say that. But anyways, yeah, welcome back to work, Luke. Welcome back to work.
Yeah, fucking D, but thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys. And listen, so we got a very special guest joining us today. And our guest has been with the company for about 4.5 years now. He is also a solo musician and also running solo throughout life, if you will. And guys, he's all the way from the Garden of England. Please welcome to the show, Alex Lane. Alex, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. How are you all doing?
Oh, we're fantastic. We're excited for this one.
Me too.
Brother, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a bit mad, I reckon.
That's all right. I mean, do you see Luke? We're like.
I mean, it's still. It is, man, because it's the most basic shit you don't think about, and it's like we were just talking about the temperature, and like degrees, and I'm like, man, I literally only know like 0 degrees Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit, and after that, I'm fucking lost. I mean, I'm just completely. We drive on opposite ends of the road. Degrees is different.
Even dates, like you guys put the month first, we put the day first. It's just, it's sort of a bit. Yeah. Like when you write dates, don't you guys put the month first, then the day, then the year?
Yeah.
We go day, month, year. So sometimes when I'm reading dates, I'm just like, what's going on?
So real quick, this got brought up earlier this morning, and we have to ask you because Luke just mentioned driving on opposite sides of the road. So do you guys because for us, for us working with the company, it's always make right turns. So do you guys always make left turns?
Yeah. I think it's different because a lot of your stuff is, I'm guessing you guys are all you've got that system, haven't you? Where in America, that's it. Where it routes stuff. They tried it in our country, and it just didn't work because all of us are squiggly country roads and stuff.
Like the highway.
It doesn't, dude. Holy shit! Yeah. Sorry.
They trialed it at a few places, at our place. It just didn't work. It doesn't work over here. But we are all left turns, but because it's just, I think it's a bit different. Like you guys, the way you do it is way much more intense. Ours is probably more relaxed, I think, in regards to little things like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was like with like back first, and that's a thing here in the States.
Yeah, that's a thing here. That's it.
I call it exemptions, and Dave always said exceptions, and then I thought it was somebody in a neighboring state to me said exemptions one time on the podcast, but I think that was so if I remember right, and I think you and Paul are I think your time difference is an hour apart, so I don't think you guys are close to one another anyway. But the center wise, I think I remember him saying too, and I'll ask you, like we've had times where the back first exception, David, there you go, and we've had it to where they've been so stingy that if we have like two, we got a supervisor coming. Now it hasn't been like that in a long time. Knock on wood. Yeah, man. And that's what I thought, because I hadn't heard that, but I thought I remember him saying that it was like like I'm obviously it's more than, they're not going to give you shit for a couple, but a lot more than a couple apparently. So
they do mention reversing a lot at our place. Like reversing's a big thing. Like a majority of the accidents in the UK are reversing based, and they do go on about try and get under 50 reverses a day, whatever. If you go over for a significant period of time, then it's like this dude's doing something wrong, so they'll go out with you and do a ride out. But the back first thing, that hasn't really been met. That's crazy. You do two back first and you go out with someone.
If still, like you said, you're like in your country, the roads are a lot more. Maybe they're more lenient on you guys as well, because your roads are a lot more. Like we don't really have, like, just our roads here are just narrow and beat to shit. But we don't really have. So like these cradles, which I don't. So if you don't have a Ryan, then you guys don't have cradles or anything yet over there then either, right?
No, we don't know.
And that's what it's coming into, is with like our roads are so bad and our potholes and everything, you'll hit it and these things won't stay connected. So like mine, and I'm curious, like going in, because I'm not sure who ran my route this week, but my cradle really hasn't worked very well in a long time, but I just plug it in, I set it in there. I don't follow it. I don't really need to, but I'm curious. There's people that know it. There's plenty of people that know it, but I'm curious, as we just did our bid route. So everybody just got their bid routes up like less than a month ago. So I'm curious if somebody had to come off their bid route to run my route, because they didn't have they were, as Bianca would say, cradle baby.
It's interesting though, because obviously we haven't got it, but do you feel like Orion has made it better, or would you rather scrap it and just use your brain as you normally would?
Rather scrap it. I think
seriously.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I would say the only good thing about it is, for instance, when the board is sitting in the cradle, it actually tells you where the package is located in the truck, and it tells you how many pieces you have for that stop.
Yeah, that's
right. That's good.
That's the good thing. The bad thing is now they're putting all this stuff on us. Now they're like, you must do this. You must be you must follow it 90% of the. Like you must be 90% what they call trace. You must be 90% trace this, that, and you got a cradle utilization and blah blah blah. So it's just like, it's just more stuff to do now, and it's like, and then you're adding it to your routine of getting in and out of the truck. Getting in and out of the package car all day, because now you're walking in. Now you got to put the thing in the cradle before you even, as you sit down, you put in the cradle, and then you go through the routine. Now you put your seatbelt on, you start the truck, go look over your shoulder as you're pulling away from the curb. Like, it's just like crazy. Just more.
It's cool because because we call it sat navs, but you call it GPS, don't you? So does Orion's got a GPS, hasn't it? See, we're taught over here. We haven't got obviously Orion, but we're taught you never use a sat nav GPS. You have to learn your route by your brain. And when I first and look at a map, and originally when I first joined the company, I'm sitting there thinking, "Are you mad? Are you mad, bro? Like, not use a sat nav, not use a GPS? Are you joking?" And it's so weird. I'm a spare driver at work, so like, I don't have an assigned route or route. You guys say I don't. Because I prefer not. I actually like the uncertainty. I like not knowing where I'm going. So I'd rather be a spare driver, so I cover people who are off sick or on holiday, and I do different routes. But like, I've found by doing that, if I'm punching all the postcodes in the GPS or whatever, or following it, it's longer. But if you're learning it from your brain, you know all the detours, you know all the shortcuts, you get it done so quicker without a GPS. That's how I feel. It's just crazy.
Totally.
Does it slow you down? Does Orion slow you guys down?
I mean, it's probably for some people, but like for me, like I have my own route, and so I've been on this route for almost three years now. And I would say, because I recently just got the cradle installed in my truck. And so like the past 2 weeks I've been using it, and because I have to, even though I already know it, like I know the entire route, like it's the back of my hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, I see now, I feel like when they start hiring new drivers now, I feel like the quality of the drivers are going to be very low.
Exactly. I completely agree. Obviously,
because like they can hire anybody, literally because they don't have to memorize shit anymore. It's all right there on a screen in front of them. Like, they're not going to be able to memorize streets. Like, they're going to be like, okay, I turn left here. Okay, I turn left here. Like, they're not going to be looking at street signs or anything as they turn. They're going to be looking down at the board. Like,
I completely agree. It's so true, because I know drivers probably been at our company for about 6 months, and they're still relying on their like phones or like their sat nav GPSs. They're still relying on them, and they like, if you go to them, you've got a collection or a pickup on so and so road, they'll go, they've been on the route for like half a year, and they'll go, what? Because but the moment you lose that GPS and you like not have it as an aid, you know so much about your own, and that's what worries me about. I'm kind of glad that they're not having Orion over here. Like, I love how old-fashioned it is. I love the fact I get to go in my van every morning and I route up the whole van, or route up postcodes throughout the day. Well, we say postcodes, you say zip codes. Like, route it all up, and I know where I'm going. I know this is the quickest way to do it. I couldn't do the Orion thing. Would do my head in.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, and I've probably said this before. I'm sure. I know I have, but the quick story I've always said, to where I saw it literally get used as a threat, where there was a driver and a supervisor arguing about, I don't know if it was pickups, stop count, and with getting these pickups or something. I don't know. It was something like that. And that route was up at WVU. So I know if the pickups they'd have a lot of overnights, shit that would need to be in. And, it was like being steadfast. The supervisor wasn't saying shit. And the guy was just he was like, all right, well, I'll just follow Orion then. And they were like, well, like that was what part was like, oh, hold on. All right. Well, hold on a minute. Like, what do you need cut? Like, it was like, as soon as he said fall, and that's literally what we're supposed to fucking do. Yeah. And like, he literally used it as a threat. And they were like, fuck. Because they knew. They know it sucks just as bad. They're just not allowed to say it.
I guess one thing it probably does do, I don't know, but like, it obviously is going to make you not have as many time packages. Do you have time packages over there?
Yeah, what they call commitments.
Like, yeah, that's it. So like, obviously we got pre-9s, pre-1030s, pre-12s. Yeah, like, I'm guessing with Orion, you're rarely going to get, or if ever, time failures. But like with us, because we haven't got that, it can be human error, and we do get a lot of those.
Yeah, it's like for us, like so we have the option to run the route how we want. Obviously, we can literally go through like we could go through the board, and we could like the stupidest thing, and I'll make this short and quick is that for like me, this happens all the time. It happens to everybody too. Is we may have a house, or we may have a delivery for, let's say, 302 Spring Street. Okay. And we also have a package for 305 Spring Street across. It would be right across the street, right? 302 is on the left, 305 is on the right, let's say. Okay. And it will have us deliver 302 in the morning. And then as we come back and our route loops back around, it'll want us to deliver 305 later that night. So like, it's like the stupidest thing. So it's like, at that time, then it's like, okay, maybe we can add that 305 if we go through the board and we see, okay, Orion's fucked up here, it's fucked up here, and then, we can deliver it while we're there. So we may add stops in. So the whole commit packages, it has happened where, they could be late. You know what I mean? So because like, we'll be like, this is stupid. Why don't I just deliver this right now? It's right there. Like I can walk to the house. It's right there. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. It just sounds so complicated. I'm so glad that we haven't got that. I'm just so happy we ain't got that. Like, I was talking to a girl from New York during the week, and like she turned around and said, "Oh, you should get transferred over here." And I was just like, to work for UPS in America. And I sit down and was like, I just think I'd suck. Because like with Orion, and obviously zip codes and stuff, like your addresses and our addresses are just so different. Like we were comparing addresses, and she was looking at an address of mine, and she was like, "What is that?" Like it's so weird. But no, I'm so glad we haven't got Orion over here, and we just use our nuggets. And what you said about the caliber of driver is you hit the nail on the head. Like the experienced drivers that know all the routes to the back of their hand. Oh, how do I get, like, literally, you're right, they can hire anyone. They can hire anyone. And what happens at the point where, the Brown would say, we're thinking about getting rid of Orion. We don't think it's working out. And hypothetically, they get rid of it. What happens to you guys are screwed a bit, aren't you?
Yeah, right. Imagine that. Like, and then there's gonna be people that just aren't gonna know how to even run the routes.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, I just don't know. It's just mad. Fair play to you guys for using that.
Exactly. But hey, so listen, let's let's talk about you. Okay. So that's why you're here. So, So take us back, dude. Growing up, have you always lived in Kent?
I have always lived in Kent. Yeah. So Kent is, if you don't know where it is so you've obviously got London, southeast of London, that whole county will look like a state to you guys, is where I've lived my entire life. And nothing's changed. I had family that was from London. Well, my mum's originally from London, southeast London, and my dad was from Kent. And when they got together, they thought it'd be better to come further to the southeast. So yeah, it's quite. I guess in a way I'm a country boy down here because it is out in the country. They call it the Garden of England because there's a lot of land around here and stuff, and a lot of people come down here to retire and stuff because there are some nice parts around the beaches and stuff. But yeah, I've lived here my entire life. I don't know any different.
That's awesome. And so let me ask, how old are you, if you don't mind?
I'm 28, although my voice is probably a bit squeaky, so it hasn't broke yet. So I'm praying my Christmas wish comes true. And next year I'll be going, "Hey guys, how you doing?" But yeah, I'm 28 years old.
Kind of like Luke over there. Yeah, he's. I don't know how Luke does that. Baritone voice. But no, dude, that's awesome. So at what? Let me ask you this: how did you get started with the company? What's your story there?
I was working. My first proper job was at a bowling alley. Mm-hmm. And I was doing all the little jobs that I'm in a bowling alley. Like, obviously, I was waiting on the lanes or the bowling alleys, like serving drinks. I work behind the bar. I work on the front desk. I like do a bit of technical stuff around the back when the lanes are busted. I've done all those sorts of things. And I just sat and I thought, like, is this what I'm going to do my entire life? Is this it? Is this my life? Like, I can do it and I'm good at it. And I do enjoy it sometimes. But is this it? Is this my career? Like, really? And I hit a bit of a wall. I kind of got a bit down about it. I was like, what is my career? Like, what am I going to do? And like, what do I enjoy doing? And just weirdly enough, like a few weeks later, I was just driving my car at a little, 1990s Ford Fiesta, a little blue battered up car, but it was my first car, so I just loved it. And I was like driving home from work one night, and I took some detours down some country lanes, and I was just tearing it through the country lanes. And I just remember thinking, I love driving. I really love driving. And I was like, oh, 1 minute, I love driving. So one weekend, I literally went on my computer and I was applying for as many driving jobs as I possibly could. And obviously the company who we were with, that I saw that. And like, you see that the vans are so distinctive. Like, they're distinctive over there, they're distinctive over here. So it's always been like a case of like, you look at them and you think they look cool. They look cool. And out of all the companies I apply for, and I no exaggeration, I must have applied for about 60, 70 jobs in about 4 or 5 hours one evening. And the one I wanted the most was this one.
Sure.
And they were the only people to get back to me.
Wow.
And it was like, literally, I was like, because I had no driving experience whatsoever. None. Like, I've only been driving for about 3 years. Like, because I just passed my test and I got myself a little £500 car off eBay. Like, and I didn't have my driver's experience. So I went to the interview, and like I passed all the interview stage. And I remember the lady said, "We want to see, like, have you driven a van before?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I've driven a van before. It's crazy." She was like, "Oh, that's excellent. So what we want to see how you can handle a stick." And I was like, "Excuse me?" What's this? And she went, "Well, you're going to go with one of our supervisors, and then you can drive the van and just see how well you can drive a van." At that point, I am absolutely like, oh yes, of course, van driving. I've done this loads of times. And then I took out one of the supervisors in a van, and for some reason, I found it so much more easier driving a van. It was the first time I'd driven a van. Wow. It wasn't in a van. It was it wasn't in a brown van. It was in like a white, rusty sort of van. But I found it a hell of a lot easier driving a van than my own car. and since then, like I got given a couple of routes, and I just kept getting bored being on the same route all the time. Like I mean, it's some people like it. You get to know the same people, you see the same people every day and stuff, and like you go into the same areas. But like I just started to get a bit like, oh, and the moment I was sitting there thinking like, oh, is this what I really want to do? I then said, "Can I be a spare driver?" And they look at you going, "Are you crazy? Spare driver? Are you mad? That means you're on a different route all the time and you're going to go at the same stops as that driver." And I was like, "Yeah, let's give it a crack." And I love it. Like, I genuinely love it. I'm in a different area every single day.
Sure.
Like, and what I love about this job, and like what, other jobs I don't feel can match, is like every day, even if you're on the same route, different route ever, every day is different. Every day is a challenge. And like, there's when you go in the morning and you see your van loaded full of stuff, because obviously during this pandemic we're doing numbers that we would never even dream of doing 2 years ago. If we had the numbers we're doing now 2 years ago, we'd go no. But like, this is the new this is the new normal. This is the new normal now. And like to have a van full of parcels, especially during this pandemic when it's as busy as ever, and then to go back and then to clear it all and then do your collections, go back every day, I feel like I've accomplished something which no other job has done for me. I feel like I've always had that, and I genuinely do love it. I genuinely love it.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely something new every day. It's whether it's, you know, the interaction you have with somebody, you know, but I mean, like if you got the same route, you may go to the same house every day, multiple houses, the same houses every day, but like,
dude, I love doing that shit too, by the way. I used to love to go to different places all the time. I tried the route, I tried this route that I'm on now. This is the first route I've ever been, but yeah, dude, I've always enjoyed that too. Just keeps it fresh, man. I'm going to be on this one for one more year, but then I'm done. I've got to. I don't know if I'll go back to covering, but I'm definitely going to switch routes. I'd like to map it out because now that we have the good old cradles, covering's not the same as what it used to be, and I don't know. I'm iffy, but yeah, I'd say I'm one more year and I might be nomading it
again. So let's get into your music.
Okay.
Because this is something I know me and Luke can all relate to. Luke's a huge music guy as well, and all that. So we can have some fun with this one.
And I'll tell you what's fucking rad. And this happened with somebody that I went to high school with. Shout out to I don't know if she doesn't go by her government name. Her first name's Jamie, but it's Virginia B. Hooker. That's her music name. But so it was the first time I saw that, but I saw it when I shared that Insta story yesterday because I typed in your name on where you put in the music for Insta stories, because I always put in shit, if I'm putting up pics or putting a picture, whatever, I always have music playing. And when I typed in your name, I was like, God, that's fucking awesome. I was like, man, there it is. I was like, there was like 3 songs popped right up. And I was like, that's badass. I fucking love that, dude. That's awesome. I love it.
So so let me ask Alex, at what age did you get started with music? What drew you in? Was it something from your parents or?
No, none of my parents are musical at all, really. They have passion for music and they listen to a lot of music, but none of them could play any instruments and stuff. It kind of started when I was just really invested in at the time. I remember watching my earliest musical memory, what visually seeing was I remember watching Bon Jovi, the You Give Love a Bad Name music video. And I remember seeing Richie Sambora of Bon Jovi slashing out this guitar on that incredible solo. And I remember thinking when I was young, I want to do that. And I picked up guitar lessons when I was, I don't know, really young. I think I was about 9-10 years old when I went to guitar lessons. But when you're young, you may go walking down the street and you might see a bus and you go, oh, I like that bus. I want to be a bus driver. Or you might see a plane the next day and you go, I want to be a pilot. When you're young, your interests change all the time. But when I was picking up guitar, I could pick it up pretty quickly. But when we were learning, we had this little book that we'd go through. We'd learn this song on this page, and the next week we'd do this song, and etc. But one night, I literally could play the entire book. And I remember going back into the teacher, and he said, Alex, let's play this book, the song from this book. And I said, I played it. He went, that's really good, but I can also play all these. And I was playing them, and he was like, no, wait for the class. And that I remember at the time, I was like, I don't want to wait for the class. I want to be able to do what Richie does. I want to be able to be cool. I don't want to play Jack and Jill nursery rhymes on the guitar. So I ended up leaving those lessons, and I put the guitar up in the loft, which will be attic for you guys.
Yeah.
And it was in the attic. I'll try and be you guys for a moment. For years, it was up there, and then one day I got really bored, and I brought the guitar down. But if you take the exact same time as me getting taught to me teaching myself from watching YouTube, I learned so much more, and I've been playing ever since then, really.
Mm. So are there any other instruments that you play, or is it just the guitar?
I can play a bit of mandolin, ukulele. I can play a bit of keyboard, but it's the guitar. I just feel like it's part of me. I feel like it's a third. It's another limb. It's another limb, the guitar. If I'm playing keyboard, I do like it, but I'm just where the guitar at? I just love how it's just, I love the guitar. I do love electric, don't get me wrong, but I think my passion in guitar. I love acoustic.
Awesome.
That was like with you say with the because I don't deal. The only instrument I played a little bit of saxophone back in the day. Never played guitar or anything. But Mick Mars, guitarist for Motley Crue, I forget like exactly how he said it in an interview once, but they were like talking about something about love for guitar or love for music, like what his and like he just picked up his guitar. He was like, I don't know how. It was like he didn't really know how to explain it, but he was like, you just get into it, and this thing's special. He just held it up, and he was like, and just you could look at it and be like, look what you can do with this. Like, say, look what I can do with that. I'm thinking, yeah, that's true, man. I mean, that basically summed it up because he's obviously a nasty guitar player, even in his dude, that's what sucks. They were supposed to come out. They were going to come on. That was another thing COVID fucked up. They were going to do another tour in 2020 because after that Netflix movie came out, The Dirt, like a whole new wave of Motley Crue fans came out. And of course, COVID ruined that like it did everything else.
Yeah. And so you mentioned Bon Jovi. Was there any other musical influences? What's some of your?
Do you know what? It's just kind of crazy, and like when I was younger, I didn't really have many. But I tell you what, and like, I'm not really popular over here for this because this genre of music is just not really popular over here.
Sure.
But I got into country music, and that for me changed the ball game. Like. And I remember saying to my friends, I listened to this song by Rascal Flatts. Look, listen to this song by Brooks and Dunn, George Strait. And my friends are like, what the hell? What is this crap? Dude, you're not American. You're from England. What are you listening? I said, no, listen to this Kenny Rogers song here. This is great. Listen to the lyrics. Dude, get out of town. Like, and I just loved it was the songwriting. It was the storytelling. Mm-hmm. And like, that's what inspired me more to then write myself. There's nothing to me like that compared the songwriting. Like, they would just hit me in ways. I sit there on my own in my bedroom, just tearing up to songs by like Kenny Chesney and just like, I just love the songwriting. And that's why I never do covers. I would purposely just try and write as much as I can, but it's country music, everything about it. And that's what we spoke about before we came on air. Like, I want to go Nashville so badly. Like, and a lot of people have listened to my songs and go, dude, your music's so Americanized. Like, and it does worry me a bit because obviously I'm from British. I'm supposed to drink tea and Queen, yes. But I love country music, man. I love it so much. I love it. Like 97% of the music I'm consuming is your guys' country music. I absolutely adore it.
See, and that's where you can always say, because I don't ever care. I've said this before. I had a music appreciation professor at Fairmont State when I was in college. Said there's no such thing as bad music. It's just all different genres and what you like. But me saying that though, because most would probably think that I'm a fucking country music loving fucking, you know what I mean?
Truck driving.
I'm not my country is very limited. Hank Williams Jr. I do listen to a little bit of that, but other than him, and it's not much. I have more hip hop than I do country. Country's probably the least of what I listen to, but the songwriting and what you're saying, I totally understand, because George Strait, I'm not, obviously I've grown up with plenty of people. George Strait's obviously an icon. I've heard George Strait plenty, and I understand what you're saying, because he's written some amazing shit, and I've heard it, and I will appreciate, like, country hasn't been, it's weird now thinking about it, because, well, no, I guess not all, because Led Zeppelin, I was trying to think UK, but I was trying to think, I liked more of of European rock, but that's not necessarily classic rock. I mean, I don't know. Fucking Rolling Stones aren't. Where the fuck are the Rolling Stones from?
Rolling Stones, weirdly enough, I obviously Kent. Rolling Stones were put together by Mick Jagger. Was born in Dartford, which is literally 20 minutes away from where I live.
Okay. Well, so I can say the Rolling Stones I fucking love. So, I mean, I do. I love them and Led Zeppelin and classic shit like Rush. I like a lot of hard stuff. I'm a big Pantera fan. Machine Head shit that's got a little kick to it. I'm a fan of as well, but I totally understand. I get, like I said, I understand the songwriting thing because they write some good shit.
I'll tell you somebody he's not a fan of, the Beatles.
No, I'm not a fan of the Beatles. I'm not, man.
Do you know what? I'm going to drop a bombshell on you right now.
Oh, please!
I swear to you, I don't see the hype either. If I'm honest.
Yes!
I'll listen to the Beatles and stuff, and I'm just like, I get probably why it was popular back then, but I know there is some like songwriting, there is some great songs in there, but like the hype, the madness over it, like
you just made my fucking weekend right there, dude.
I had the exact same conversation with someone else recently. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't dislike them at all. No. I don't dislike the Beatles, but like. I'd admittedly say like I've probably got 1-2 of their songs on my playlist.
Like I feel like in what I've always said to Dave, and I've said it to I've said it to Joe and Amy and other people we've had on here recently too. I feel like they, just because they were like the first, they get put on that pedestal of being like the best. And I'm like, man, I'm like, I don't dislike the Beatles either.
No, I don't either.
But I don't think that the Beatles aren't even, and they're not even in my top. They're not in my top. They're not in my top 5 as far as classic rock goes. I'll tell you, I got Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin. I'll put Rush, Queen. Who else can I put above them?
Queen. Hell yeah.
Queen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Queen's fucking way better than the Beatles. I know they came out later. I know they came out a little bit later, and it's not really, depending. John Hilligus actually said he mentioned it. He said depending on what decade, you were coming in, you might look at it different. But obviously we weren't born when the Beatles were doing their thing, and then when Freddie Mercury and Jimmy Page and all them guys, we weren't alive then, so we can look at it as a whole. And I just think, I'm like, man, I just don't think they're not the top of the pedestal for me. That's really my argument.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think because obviously I wasn't born in that era. That's probably another factor. Like, I don't dislike them whatsoever, but like it's not like, oh my gosh, the Beatles are playing. Can everyone shut up? It's not a case of that. I think that's what it is, though. It's like I wasn't born around that era, and obviously around that, I get probably around that time. Like, they probably changed the face of it in a way at that time. But obviously, music's just evolved since then. And like, no, I don't dislike them, but like, it's not like my go-to.
So let me ask you, how long have you been? I was going to say, how long have you been Alex Lane? But you know what I mean? Like, how long have you been doing your own solo music?
Since last year, in all seriousness. Like, honestly, it's crazy. It was always a confidence thing. It was all because I have got a very distinctive voice, and it's very difficult, especially with someone who's got a very distinctive pop voice like myself, who also likes country music, to try and find like what do I want to do? Because I try, you know what I mean? I've been experimenting so long with like writing songs, but in the end, the way that I've got it with, it was like I just got so obsessed with writing songs. I scrapped the artist thing aside, and for years and years and years, I just worked on my craft. I was listening to, I mean, we mentioned the Beatles earlier, though I said we spoke about them. I have watched hours and hours of interviews of Paul McCartney talking about how he writes songs. Like, I have spent hours and hours of interviews watching how Bob Gaudio wrote his songs, and all these top people, how they wrote their songs. Like, hours and hours and hours. And where they get their inspirations from. And the moment I started, it took years, admittedly, of writing. Like, I mean, to me, it's like a tap. It's like a tap. It's like you turn a tap on and all the dirty water comes out. And that's your bad songs. And eventually, the water clears up.
Sure.
And you write some good songs. And then now and then it splurts out a load of mucky water again. And you write a bad song, but then it clears up again. It's just a process. But the moment I started to write, which I thought were decent songs that were suiting my voice, because I had to write songs that were going to suit my squeaky voice. Like, that's when it became easier. And it was only until like last year, when I was 27, where it all just really like fell into place. And though like a lot of people saying, dude, you're doing it so late. Like, why don't you do this years ago? I wasn't ready. Like, I just wasn't. I didn't want to put out music and start doing music when I wasn't ready. I wanted to put out stuff that I liked and I was proud of, not just put out music for the hell of it. But it started off with getting that songwriting as good as it can be, like learning it. And
absolutely,
yeah, it's a really late thing, admittedly, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. That's just how it was meant to go, I think.
So it came about in 2020. So have you not played live yet in front of people because of the pandemic?
I have played. I used to go to like open mic nights to get my confidence up, because weirdly enough, like music's not my first thing. It's actually musical theatre. Mm-hmm. That's where I started. Like, sure. Doing shows like Les Mis and Guys and Dolls, like all the Broadway stuff. That was my roots. But I'd always in the background play guitar and wrote songs. So I've always been performing on stage. And between the moment of like leaving the musical theatre scene behind and to now, I was like going to open mic nights and experimenting with the songs I was writing to see what was going down. I mean, I went through so many awkward stages of trying to be George Strait, trying to write a male pop song, a country pop song like Shania Twain, and like experimenting. But like, it was only during the pandemic where I was putting out songs and people were like, oh, I like this. This is you, Alex boy. This is you. This is it. You've done it. And then then I went to the studio and started recording it. But the songs I've put out, like the ones obviously you was talking about, the ones you found on Instagram and stuff like that on YouTube, I have not performed live whatsoever. And it's so depressing. It's unreal. But like, it just all happened around that time, really. And I was in the studio like during all this pandemic when the restrictions were lifted, then they went back and stuff. But yeah, I've played live, but not these songs. No,
not with your music yet.
No,
I feel like
that's fucking exciting though. You know what I mean? Just when, like you said, like COVID go away, like
yeah,
right.
Dude, like that's gonna be fucking awesome because you're gonna have a fucking catalog to play from. You know what I mean?
I hope it's so frustrating because like I've so many people like you guys invite me into your podcast, but this is awesome for me. Like this sort of. Like, this is awesome. Like, what am I doing? I'm on a podcast talking about my music. You guys care enough to talk about music. That means so much to me. Like, I've had a few opportunities, like, similar to this. Like, I've got played on local radio, on the BBC, a few times with these songs. And, like, it's just going so well. But, like, there's only so much you can do in your house, promote on social media, go on YouTube, do things like this. There's only so much you can do if you're like, I just want to play live. Like,
yeah.
But I hope what you're saying works out, like, and that is the case. But yeah, COVID, just go away.
Yeah, because there's no replacing being there. You know what I mean? Like going to a concert, you could see anybody play. Like a lot of people have done Zoom stuff, playing fundraising. But I mean, it's just, which is awesome. But it's just there's no way you can't replicate being there. You know what I mean? It's being so. I look forward to that too for you, man. But I feel like country music, and I know jack shit about the music industry. I don't want to say one guy that I played football with in college lives in Nashville, and he does some country songs. This be a complete shot in the dark if you ever heard of Tyler Bailey, but
I'll search him up though. Definitely.
I'm just saying, and Dave, I feel like if you had like the songs you would write country music, and I'm not telling you to move overseas. I'm just saying, like I said, Dave, this is coming from a guy that knows jack shit about country music. But you think a guy, dude writing his own country music, sounding like got a lot of songs. I feel like especially being from the UK, I feel like that would blow up here. That's just me saying. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to just. I feel like that would be fucking huge. Because I know, and I'm not saying any like. I know that if you have the drive for it, and I can see that you do, and you have a passion for it, and I just feel like that would play into it, because it would go back to the judging the book by the cover thing. But like you said, like you know, people think where you're at, you should be drinking tea and not listening to George Strait. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like that would be the thing. It'd be like, holy shit, yeah, check this out. This is fucking awesome. Other people can like country music too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just I don't know why. It's crazy. Like it's even like I know my music is so Americanized. Like I mean, like since I like worked for obviously the Brown, I was like tagging like Brown like hashtags on Instagram and stuff. And in the Americans like do seem to like the music a little bit more sometimes than us over here. It is so Americanized, but I think it's just the music I consume. Like even like my EP cover, when I put the EP cover out, I'm wearing a customized baseball jersey with my name on it and my lucky number, because like I was trying to like brand it in a way, because it's my music is so Americanized. But I do want to go to Nashville, maybe like jump on like an open mic night or something and play. But yeah, it's country music that's done it for me. The country music is the reason why I'm doing it. For sure. Like,
and yes. like that's the thing too. Like you hear so many stories from different musicians and all these artists that they've done exactly that. Like you just said, like one night you're like, I'm going to hop on an open mic, and you never know who's sitting there in the crowd. It could be the owner of, you know, Universal Records. Like it could be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just that. So like, dude,
and that's what the guy was just talking about. That's what he like, because it's pretty much like the Mecca. Like Dave said, you never know who's around being. Yeah, God, man, it's just getting me excited talking about things opening up.
I know.
Just like we got to halt the brakes till we know for sure. Jesus, well, not halt the brakes. I'm saying, guys, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, because I feel like we're just at the beginning stages of opening up.
Yeah. Soon. So Alex, so one thing I wanted to ask you, so the whole theater background, that's fucking awesome. And so being on stage, because I'm sure I share the same type of feelings like you do about it. What's one of your favorite things about being on stage?
It's very varied. Like when I was doing the musical theater stuff, you have to, when you put on a show, you become a family in musical theater, because you get given a script, you learn the script together, you go through the rehearsal things together, and like you really get to know people in that sort of environment, and you do become a family. And when you put on a show, you have to work together as a team to make sure that show runs and is the show. Like. Yeah. And that's what I loved about it with there. Like we're all a team, we're all doing this together. We're gonna put a show on for these people, and we're gonna smash it. And like I love that. Like when I'm doing musical theater, I love how you work as a team. But like when I'm up on stage with my guitar, coming from that background, I'm on my own. Like all I've got is my guitar. Normally I'm like, if I think I'm forgetting a line, I'm looking at the guy like, oh, and then we guide each other through the show. There's no one to guide me. I'm on my Jack Jones. So it's like, it varies. Like despite what I'm on, whether I'm just doing straight acting, musical theater or music, I just love the buzz. And weirdly enough, the buzz is different than it is in musical theater and on your own. But the thing is, I'll tell you a quick story. Like, my first ever gig was a gig in front of 2,500 odd people, because what happened was we've got a castle near where we live, I sound so British. I just really. We got no. It's called Rochester Castle, and it's. I just look at the castle every day, and I'm just like, meh. But it is a very historic place in Rochester, near where I live. But like they used to hold in the castle grounds. Oh my God, I can't believe in the castle grounds they used to hold these music events like every week in July. Like they'd have like musicians like. They've had like famous people like Jules Holland and even like Status Quo and like people like have performed in these gardens. And at the very end of these, at the very end, they had the big stage. At the very end, before they were about to pack the stage up, they'd run an event called Under Siege. Now, Under Siege was an event that this small company put together where they got all local musicians to audition for about 15 slots, and you'd all get 2 songs, and you get to play on this stage in the Rochester Castle Garden. So you've got the stage, you've got the castle behind you, like, or in front of you, wherever they would assign the stage. And it was like one of the last years they were doing it. And this was around the time I was experimenting with like my songs. Mm-hmm. And I was still deep within the musical theatre thing because I was still at college, like studying musical theatre. Mm. And then I saw an ad saying auditions for Under Siege 2012. I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I auditioned, and luckily I got in. And that was my first. I'll never forget it. It was a sunny day, Castle Gardens. It was free to get in, so everyone was there, absolutely drunk, pissed. Like it was like a summer's day out in Rochester Castle. And like I remember, they said, and coming up next is Alex Lane. I was shaking. Bearing in mind, like. I'm just not used to that. I'm used to like going on stage with people, playing a different character with my lines in the zone. And I literally go on stage and I was looking down, look down, plug the guitar in, douche, right, plug in my acoustic. And I looked up and my God, it was a sea of people. And I'm used to it, but nothing to that extent. It was a sunny day and everyone was like, oh yeah, we'll go out. Let's have a session. And I remember I played 2 songs that day. And the moment I strummed that first chord, you got to think that this was top of the range speakers. So obviously I think Status Quo just played recently. And to play that little guitar that I normally play in my bedroom, like 24 hours a day, to hear that echoed out into the people and to sing, when I got off stage, I was absolutely buzzing. And it was from that moment on, I was like, I love musical theatre. I love acting, but there's nothing like this. That's what I want to do. And it was like, that's talking about like how you feel. Music hits different.
Dude, you just gave me chills when you were talking about that, man. I was just picturing
really?
You're such a good storyteller. Like you just painted a picture in my head and of everything. And I literally just got chills as you were talking about it. That's fucking crazy.
That storytelling because of country music. That's why I do that. But like, that was the moment for me where I was like, I want to do the music. But like I said, like I referred to before, it was like I need to get the songs right, and it was 2020 where it was like, cha-ching.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. That's weird.
Luke, you were about to say something? Were you about to say something? I saw you get
No, I was lighting up from you because you said that, and I was like, dude, I was basically kind of thinking the same thing. And I mean, and I'm not a musician, but like I said, performing in front of people though, and just a different kind. But I'm just saying, it doesn't get you kind of amped. So yeah,
fucking awesome. So one little just silly little question I had for you was, do you have a favorite guitar?
Like, oh my days, that's so weird you say this. It's like you read my mind. All week I've been on YouTube just watching videos of people play guitars all week. And like I remember my dream guitar, like electric guitar, is, I mean, we've all seen Back to the Future. Marty McFly, that Gibson 335, like that. I just love one of those. Like, that's my dream electric, without a shadow of a doubt. Like it's because weirdly enough, I had one of those on my song "What a Friend's For" on the EP. That guitar with the power chords, and there's even in Map Out as well the guitar in the background that is the 335. And "What a Friend's For" is really like pop rock, and like Map Out's really pop country. But that shows the versatility of that guitar, like 335. But like, I love the Fender Tele as well. I love the Fender Tele. I've got one myself.
Yeah.
But in regards to like acoustic, like I've got like a more of a broader range. Like the guitar that's sitting over there right now is my favorite acoustic I've ever got, and it's I don't know if you've heard of the make. It's an Alvarez.
Yep.
It was handmade by a guy called Kay Yari. And when I was recording, it is the acoustic you hear in all of my songs. Well, I was in the studio, and I used to, every time like they were doing like mixing, mastering, whatever, I'd pick up this guitar and I'd like tinker around with it, and it was just ridiculous. I said to Sean, I was like, "Whose guitar is this? Like, this sounds like nothing I've ever played." And he said, "Oh, my son got it. He found it. He's a good finder of guitars." And it sounds the equivalent. I swear to you, I've played that guitar, and I've also played a 2 Grand Martin. And like, I got that for 500 quid. I bought it off the studio in the end because they were going to get rid of it. But like, it sounds just as good. With acoustic guitars, it's just like whatever just feels nice and natural and stuff. But electric, 335, Fender Tele, and I would do Star Angels, Snow Angels on the grass with one of those. Like, I'd love one of those.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So we do this little thing on here where we put out on our Instagrams the question of the week, and we have our followers, they chime in and everything like that. And this one is all sort of related to what we were talking about, and that's music.
Okay.
So the question of the week, if my crap wants to load here, the question of the week was, what would be your theme song while you're on the road? So when you're out there delivering, what would be your theme song? So you can take time to think about it if you don't know right now. Because
there's so many songs out there.
Yeah.
What could it possibly be? My theme song would be out on the road, driving the Brown.
And we had a lot of people chime in. This is probably the biggest responses that
what were other people's? What were other people's? It might give us inspiration.
Yes, I will start going through, and I'm going to go through all of them because there's a lot. So this is going to be fun. So bear with us. So this one is from the Cowboy Cardboard Warrior. Says "Green Light" by Lord.
Oh.
No. Yep. This one, shout out to the Rollin' Rogan, say "Rollin" by Limp Bizkit, because we're the Rollin' Rogans and that's how we roll.
Yeah. I mean, it's fitting.
It's fitting. This one is from T Kingsbury 13. It all depends on the day, LOL. But since COVID peak started, Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We also have our co-host here, Luke, chimed in, said, "We're Not Gonna Take It" by Twisted Sister. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's a good one. This one's from past guest Albert Brownman and Brown, says, "So difficult to narrow it down to just one song, but I'll have to go with Grinding All My Life by Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace. Mondays are reserved for the latest episodes of the podcast." Thank you, Albert, for listening. And he also actually recommended that we take all the songs, because we have such a big library of this, and we're gonna make a playlist for people, and we're gonna share that on our page and all that. So we're gonna put all the songs that everybody has on the one big playlist on Spotify, and then we're gonna give it out to people. So Albert, thanks for the idea, man, and we're going to get that rolling. So moving on, this one's from also past guest Art Gecko Studios. This is Jeffrey Chandler, says Weird Al's White and Nerdy.
Oh, what? Oh, my days. I've had ages.
That's so good.
White and Nerdy. Coag says No Scrubs by TLC.
Oh, yes.
It's a good one.
Yes.
Yep. Lindsay Ann _808 says You Don't Know by Real Big Fish.
Man, Real Big Fish. I haven't heard them in a minute.
No, that's true. Yeah.
This one's from Jay Hill. Says Skid Row, Slave to the Grind.
Ooh.
Heavy. Another one from Willflow 81 says Beast by Rob Bailey and the Hustle Standard. I've never heard of half of these songs. So
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah,
sounds like a great band name, no?
Absolutely. This one's from Fernando, past guest, also Loiza. He says, "Take This Job and Shove It" by Johnny Paycheck. back when you were able to personalize a ringtone for someone that called you, I made sure to have this song play for every supervisor that called, and also for when they try to get clever and call from the offices.
Nice.
That's good. This was from Andy Von Six. Says the Heretic Anthem by Slipknot. Yep. This one here, another one from the Cowboy Cardboard Warrior. A Little Bit Off by Five Finger Death Punch. A little bit off. Yeah. We're all there. This one's from Awesome Delivery Guy. Says, "Stay awake all night." Crocus when driving. Did I say Crocus? When driving. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just lost it. Well, when driving, Chocolate Lightning should be the feeder. Creep by Radiohead and Chocolate Thunder. We called him Big Bertha, and the Peter Gunn theme delivering in the Brownie. Hold on, I gotta read this again. I think he gave different songs for different driving positions. I just so derailed right now. I just got so fucked. Yeah, I gotta read this again because I think he gave it per driving position, like people that drive the tractor trailers, people that drive just driving to stay awake all night. Is that what he's saying? I think it's
talking about a song. I
don't know what the fuck. ADD. I'm so sorry, I fucked that one up. Anyways, we're gonna move on because we guys still got a shit ton more. This was from Andy, Miss Von Six. Andy Von Six again says, also "Working Man" by Rush. I feel that song in my soul. That's a good one. This one's from Cam Sawa. Says, "Sleep Now in the Fire" by Rage Against the Machine. Rage Against the Machines. We're going right now.
It's a good one to listen to out there.
That is absolutely. Another one here is from Porno Parcel. Shout out to our past guest here. He says, Terminator 2 theme song, LOL. You know, because I'm in furniture truck looking for assholes on motorcycles.
What did I just see? I don't know if either one of you guys still watch Walking Dead or not, or if you ever did. But
I used to, but not anymore.
The guy Patrick, I can't even think of his full name, but the guy that was the Terminator 2, the T-1000, that guy. Anytime, dude, he made a little cameo in that episode, and I still, anytime I see him, I immediately think T2. But that was all.
This one's from JS Back 73. Says, "Driven My Life Away" by Eddie Rabbit. That's a good one. This one, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. This one's from Ivan. He says, "America" by Resorte. I don't know. I can't fucking read. This one. Tyson. Shout out to Tyson. He told me how to pronounce his name because I just fucked it up so bad. The one time. Sosby, I think is how it said. He says, "I'm No Stranger to the Rain" by Keith Whitley after the wet week I just had.
Oh, nice little song there.
Yeah. This one here is from Ruby Red Freedom. Says, "Go Down in History" by 4 Year Strong. That's a band I was not expecting anybody to mention. That's 4 Years Strong. That's awesome. This one here is from MF Myth. Says, "I have a few, honestly, but my favorite is the Road Rash soundtrack. Sierra Nevada. Makes me feel like a kid, but instead of wondering what my dad is doing, I'm actually working, but still listening to my game music. Yeah, I'm weird, but I make my day go by faster. LOL." They also followed that up with that. Oh no, wait, they posted twice. Never mind. Sorry. This one here is from Nick Barnier. Says, "Tub Thumping" by Chumbawamba.
Dude, I fucking thought that's such a great theme for this job. That was a good one.
This one, next one's from Banana Man. Says, "Filter, Hey Man, nice shot."
Another good one.
Yep. This one's here from A Gonzo. Riding by Chameleonaire. They see me rolling. They hating, patrolling. They trying to catch me riding dirty. Right.
See, real quick, it's Chameleonaire.
Yeah.
This whole entire time, I've been calling it like something fucking completely wrong. I've been calling him Chameleonaire. I think I've been calling him Chameleonaire. No, I think Chameleonaire. You're right. Okay. You're right. I'm just saying. I was just letting you know that I butcher thing, and I've literally been butchering.
Thank you. I butchered all the time,
this moment,
every week.
Until this moment. Until this moment, I will not butcher his name anymore.
There you go. We're getting through here to the bottom of the list, guys. This one here is from Miller Gang. Says, "I don't fuck with you" by Big Sean. That's good.
Oh,
yep. This one. Shout out to Nate here, but this one Nate said also, but this one's also from BS Schaefer. Says, "Move, bitch" by Ludacris. Oh, bitch! Get out!
That's a Monday morning theme.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's a Monday morning, Friday afternoon theme. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well said.
This one's from Ups Main. Says Propane, Voice of Rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss something? No. Yeah, that's that. And then mine was mine is I have this come into my head every time I see my load quality in my truck, and I'm like, God, I'm so fucked today. You know, and so mine is Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit, which is, if you know the lyrics, you're just like, yeah.
I think more just a guitar riff, just so I can just see the dun, dun.
Just one of those days when you don't want to wake up.
I've been on the phone with this guy. Yeah. I've been on the phone with this guy so many times when it's just like, it's just days in a row. It's like the movie Groundhog Day, just repeating itself.
Exactly. So, and we also had a few from Facebook too. This is the most we've also got from Facebook as well, not just Instagram. Scott Copeland also says Limp Bizkit, Break Stuff. Thank you very much. See. This one here is from Sean Avery. He said, "I'd have to say The Way I Live by Baby Boy to Prince." Interesting. Shout out to Slammer. Slammer just posted an entire Slammer Mania playlist.
Slammer didn't skip. He didn't fucking skip. I was dying when I saw that.
He literally posted his Spotify playlist. It was like everything fucking right there, basically.
So to give a quick shout out on that playlist, because I did dive into it a little bit. He does have Primus. Jerry was a race car driver. I told Dave that was a funny, because I said the first X Games CD that ever came out was like 94, and I said that was when I first heard that song, and that was like song number 2. So I'll just give you that, Slayer. We'll say Promise, but yeah, he got a whole fucking playlist out there. He's ready.
Yeah, I got two more here. This one's from Alan Fair. Says Danger Zone.
Oh, yeah, nice.
This other last one here is from Douglas Holstrom. Says Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me.
Yeah.
And that's going to do it for the question of the week. So, Alex, you've heard a lot of them. What do you think?
I don't know. The one does pop into my mind a lot when I'm in a bit of a good mood and I'm smashing out my deliveries and I'm in the zone. Probably like Jump by Van Halen.
There you go.
Nice.
Probably
awesome.
Be mine.
And that's sick. So thank you guys. Thanks to everybody who chimed in on that. That was a lot of fun. And I wanted to make it music themed, knowing who we were going to have on as a guest here. So one last thing, Alex, do you guys get helpers over there for the holiday seasons, right?
We do. To be fair, it's like they will go up to you and go, "Do you want a helper?" Yeah. And then people will go yes or no. I don't really want one. Not because I don't like people.
Have you ever had one?
No, I've not. Like I feel like whenever I've had people come out with me, but like I always say no to helpers. I'd rather just be on my own and just get in the zone.
Yeah, because one of the questions we ask every single one of our guests is, give us your favorite helper story. So for instance, like mine, I'll give you an example. Mine was I left my helper on the side of the road on purpose.
Yeah. There was one. I didn't have like. There was a guy. They said, "Alex, can you go on a ride out with this dude?" And then they just looked at me like this. It was a new guy, and I was like, "Why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me like that for? Is he bad?" And then it was like, "No, you go on a ride out with him. See how he gets on." I was like, "Sweet, fine." It was back in the days I had my route, and I was routing up the van and stuff, and then he was sitting in obviously the, you guys call it shotgun, we call it passenger seat, but like he was sitting in there, and obviously we done our meeting in the morning. I get in the van, I go, right, my name's that. What? What is that? Sorry, mate. What is that smell?
No.
And he looked at me and he went, "Smell?" I said, "I'm sorry. Can you smell that? Can you smell?" And he's like, yeah. I think that's me. And I went, "Oh, okay." So then I went back to the supervisor. I said, "1 second, I'm just gonna have a little conversation. I'll be right back." Going to my supervisor, I went, "Guys, he stinks." And then they were like, "Yeah, but can you go?" I said, I'm not going to spend a whole day out with Stinky over there. Like it was, I couldn't. I said, "I'm sorry. I've got to draw a line. I can't put up with that." I said, "Either you guys it was someone else, or I'm going home because I need to get at least 60 air fresheners in that cab to get rid of that smell." It was like a horse farted and died on top of an already dead badger. I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. Sorry, no."
Fuck. So like you didn't even leave the building yet.
No. In the end, one of the supervisors comes and was like, "Oh, sorry, can you come with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go out with him today or something. I don't know." And I just drove away quick.
Yeah,
but like it was before I went out of him. I had to. It was a smell. I tell you, it was a stench.
Oh my goodness. So that's actually a good story. I like that one. For not really having any helpers, but that one's good. Right.
Nearly a helper.
So I think that's all we have for you today, dude. Does Luke have anything else? No.
Anything else? I guess find me on my socials. I guess.
Yes, I was gonna say, where can people find you?
Go on Instagram and type in "It's Alex Lane." That's the main source of thing I use. Or go on YouTube and just type in Alex Lane. Okay. And Spotify, Alex Lane. That's just like my normal go-tos. But find me on Instagram. We have some fun on there. Awesome. I sometimes do like Q&As and stuff, and my friends won't ask me normal questions. They love to give me a hard time on there. To be fair, it's quite funny. So we have a laugh on Instagram. So come on Instagram and have a laugh. But yeah, it's Alex Lane.
Awesome. And last but not least, do you by any chance have any questions for us?
Oh, dude, any questions? Like it will all just be like what's going on in the country sort of thing. Like I'm intrigued to know because like over here, right? Obviously, I'm not political whatsoever. Like I'm not going to get political.
Oh, you're fine. I'm very well equipped to handle.
But when your election, I'm just intrigued to know, like when the election was going off, and obviously the Trump Biden thing, the press over here was mad. So it's like Trump Biden, who's going to win? Trump Biden. Obviously Biden then wins, and then it's like, oh no, Trump doesn't think he lost, and it was all a bit of a madness. But like the reason, and it was just like it was crazy. But like I just want to ask, that's not in the news anymore. Like now Trump is, I think, is like basically, okay, I've lost you later, mate. You don't really hear anything over here in the press what's going on. So my question is like, is it calmer out there? Like, what's it like now? Is it because it seemed like on this end. It seemed like on this end, over there was a hell of a lot of tension in America. Like, what's it like there now? Are you guys more chilled? Like, what's
You mind if I take this one first? You care? So the tension I would say is still around. Now I completely embraced this fucking madness this year. I was making political videos, making fun of everybody, and I was making people's heads explode. They were getting so. That was more local. I always say local. My Facebook page is like my purse. It's more locally shit. So it's not like Instagram, but I would say so just yesterday, I think this just happened that Joe Biden fell up the steps getting on Air Force One, and he fell up the steps like 3 times. And it was fucking
no shit 3 times.
It was fucking hysterical.
Seriously.
But this is what happens though. This is what happens where the tension part, like people can't look at that and say, oh, that's fucking hysterical, but that he fucking fell over, because it is fucking funny. Now this is the thing though, Alex. You'll have the Trump people now, because it's gotten so heated amongst each other. And I'm not saying all the people. I think it has died down a lot. I'm saying like the staunch dug in the ground. Either you're a Democrat, you're Republican. That's it. Like those people. That because of him tripping, I've been seeing stuff like, of course, the Republicans are jumping all over it. He's talking about his cognitive ability, like this guy can't even walk up steps, can't lead our country. So then you got the left people going, this isn't that big of a deal. People fall all the time, and I'm sitting there going, these motherfuckers are making this a thing that he fell. I was like, he's fucking old anyway.
Like it wouldn't have been bad if it was only one time. It happened. No shit. 3 fucking times.
I'm YouTubing.
It's all over the internet.
He's
tripped up. Yeah, it was like 3. It was like bam, bam, bam. But I think that it has calmed down, because as far as I know, I think Trump's still canceled on all the social media platforms. So he can't. I don't know that for sure. I haven't checked, but it's definitely. It's not as. It's a lot more, to say the word dull, or it's a lot less. It's a lot more boring, I guess, because. That's one thing I'll say. Joe Biden, in his short start as presidency, he hadn't been saying much. He's not saying too much. And I'm not saying that for people to construe one way or the other. I'm just saying when Trump was president, it was every day you heard something. And somebody was bashing him. He was talking shit to somebody. So it's just like that part of it, it's a lot more like you don't hear, Biden is still a politician at heart, like an old school person. Like that was the thing about Trump, was what kind of pretty much, if you want to say what won him the election, it was that. But so Biden's not going to say shit that riles people up too much either, really. So I would say it's died down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still funny to see. There's still people that argue about something as pointless as falling up steps, but yeah.
There still is a bit of tension, because like on looking at it from obviously our end over here in England, looking at it, it was almost like a case of like if COVID wasn't about, and then like you were able to fly to America for like a holiday, you'd land and you go through your little the little tube to get into the actual airport, and there'll just be people with pitchforks going, "Don't come in here, just leave, just get out." Go! Don't come in. Like, and it just seemed like it was so tense over there. But like lately,
I don't think it was ever that bad countrywide, is what they would make it seem.
Oh, really?
But it's still, honestly, dude. It was. No matter how anybody wants to view it, it was definitely a circus of an election, and I'm sure other countries were looking at us and thinking, damn, man.
These fucking idiots.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
it was just mad. It was incredible.
Now that, it's just, it's still, I would say we'll probably, the thing that I feared, and then I'll leave it be. The thing that worried me most was that I thought it was just going to flip-flop with the way that people would argue about nothing, because you're not gonna change people's minds. Right. And I was just afraid. I was afraid more. I was like, I just kind of wanted to move on to where we can just sort of let, like, you know, you don't have to make it a thing every time somebody but I don't know, that's probably partly because of social media and people just have access and do this shit. But I don't know. I've for me, I'd give anybody that's in that position, I don't want any of them to fuck up. So I wish Joe Biden the best of luck. But yeah, there's definitely plenty of people that are I mean, it's been like that since 26. Well, fuck, you could go back further than that. It's been going on. This has been going on the past few. I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll see where 2024 lands us.
It's because on our end, it just looked so intense for so long, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of died down, and it's like, oh, America is quiet in America. Are they okay over there? Are they all right? They're not on the top of our news.
It's not as entertaining. It's not as entertaining, that's for sure.
Like,
you're not here.
Come on, guys, you're boring us. Like, do something. Like, I just want to. It's like that meme you see online where it's like someone poking a dog. Say, just do something. Come on, America.
Well, I saw a thing. I saw a thing like a meme of something. It was like a thing with. It wasn't even really bashing one or the other. But it was just showing her personalities. Like Biden has said in the past before, like he'll speak up, but it's rare. So somebody said something to him, like a reporter, and he walked off. And it was like it showed like Trump walking, and then like somebody said, he turned at me and said, "That is the stupidest question I've ever heard come out." Like that's what I mean. Like you don't have that really anymore. So you don't have. Joe Biden's not up there saying fake news to television cameras and shit. So that part is gone. So it's not as, to answer your question in a very long, drawn out way, how I'd normally fucking do, I guess. But yeah, it has calmed down some.
Some. Oh, okay, fair enough. That's hilarious. Oh, you have me crying at one point. Oh gosh.
So Alex, listen, thank you, dude, for doing this, and don't go anywhere because we want to say goodbye off air. So hang around for a minute. And guys, listen, don't forget your most important stop. All right. Always home, and whatever you guys are doing out there, continue delivering greatness. All right. And to take us out of this episode, here is the song Map It Out by Alex Lane. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace out.
Peace.
We could get a big house in the country, couple kids and SUV, a plane, a pile of money. I want you there and everywhere, baby, wherever I go. So forgive me as I plan out how we'll conquer the globe. My arms is where you belong. You got my heart, you are everything I want. Could easily go get on one knee. So head over heels, you are making me go crazy. So I really wanna map it out, map it out, map it out, my future with you. Map it out, map it out, map it out.